the Orange County Convention Center. I'm going to see if this mic is going to work today. Hopefully it does. We're here post sequester, so all of the teams that are running this RIT competition who have made it to the finals have basically spent the last, I don't know, they've been sequestered since 8 o'clock, I think. So 2.5 hours in a room, no cell phones, no TVs, no YouTube, no computers, no content, no nothing. And then they get walked down to like kind of a subsection of the show floor where they're not able to see the course. These individuals, these two RIT teams, are going to have zero idea what they're walking into. We're seeing them getting geared up right now. Cody's over there as kind of the gear liaison. He's helping the crews out, getting them situated. This is the last time that they are going to have to really set themselves up. They need to make sure that their gear is the way that they want it, that their bags are set up the way they want it. If they're taking a rope in, that it's set up the way that they want it. Because once they get onto the course, you'll see, even before we get onto the course, Cody's going to be throwing them in our Smoked Out Series lens where they will not be able to see anything as they walk up to the course. So today's, and these guys have no idea. I'm going to step back a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It was what they're about to go into is a line of duty death scenario that they, the Frog Group, recreated essentially for everything down to some of the radio traffic you're about to hear to the way that the building was laid out. The course is pretty similar to that. So unlike yesterday where they got the day before Wednesday to run the course and to practice and to prep, and then they got to actually run the course for time, and they knew exactly what they were doing and what the criteria were and how many victims they had and how to get them out, because these practice teams have done this before. Today, they have no idea. So as they rewatch the video, maybe after it gets posted, they'll be like, oh, you were right behind us talking about what it was. Yeah, I was. So this is a 2020 or a 2018 line of duty death that came out of Worcester, Massachusetts. Firefighter Chris Roy, and unfortunately at 36 years old lost his life in a fire in a multi-story building that they had basically determined was arson, eventually ruling the death a homicide. But unfortunately, as a single father of a 9-year-old, um, he ended up perishing in this fire. So the Frog Group, everything we said about this is a training opportunity. So the Frog Group likes to make it a training opportunity, which even means learning from whether it was past mistakes that contributed to it or improper training. I'm not saying that was the case in this particular line of duty death, but all of the factors that go into it. If we can predict it, we can prevent it, right? If we can train it out of our systems, that's what we're here to do. So hopefully when these guys on the St. Johns County Fire Rescue team get to work and actually do this in real life, they are prepared more so or better than a lot of their peers. So posing for a photo here before they get onto the course. Today they're competing for time. Again, they don't know what the course layout is. They don't know what they're going to encounter. They don't know anything. They are in the dark as possible by design. So
Yeah, man.
all right, they're going to get masked up. Cody's going to throw them in our Smoked Out Series shield. Now we're getting hype. They're going to get brought out onto the course, and then once they make it out onto the course, they're going to have to pay attention to the radio traffic. So the same instructors you saw yesterday are going to be role players. They've taken the transcripts of the audio of the incident, and that is their situational awareness coming into this evolution. They aren't going to know a whole lot other than what happens over the radio, which is pretty realistic to the real world scenario. Being on a rapid intervention team like this and having a firefighter go down, I mean, you have to make the best of the 2 seconds of info that you have and then execute a plan based on some decision making that hopefully has spiraled down from your training and your preparedness. So Cody's setting them up here, the MSA G1s. So at this point, once they get into that smoky environment like we described yesterday, they will be unable to see much more than just shapes and some squiggly lights. So the time for preparation is now. They'll get another minute once we get over to the door where they'll be able to prepare a little bit more. But really all that means is where do you want the RIT pack, what hand do you want the tool in, and here's the front door. So there's no forcing the door today, just because we have to do everything blind. We don't want to give them that opportunity to see the course. And then the time is going to stop a little bit differently than yesterday when they bail out the window and everybody's out. That's the stop time. That's the finish line, so to speak. Today it ends when the RIT group supervisor terminates the RIT incident, basically. So the more is discussed and the more that is talked on the radio, as we saw with our last team, unfortunately, time doesn't stop until the event is declared over. I will say, and this is just a side note, like the reason we created our product is so we don't have to do this on a training ground like we do with Press and Seal or something like that. But today is a little exception. We'll make an exception for it as the crews walk out onto the course here. Decent crowd already gathered. So at this point, RIT ops will break away. Again, unable to see. The teams are going to get lined up here. So the last opportunity to get situated is going to be right here. So the time starts even by mistake once they cross that threshold, and there are no redos in this. So attention to detail is still important. So Cody's getting the team set up with the RIT rope. Again, they're not able to see, so it's hard for them to secure the RIT rope. So Cody is lining them out on where they want the rope, which is going to be attached to the door. Pretty common placement.
Your rope bag is secured to the door. Hey, can you turn his radio up a little bit right here? It's been one of those days. John goes to the last few days.
So they're allowed to do a radio check. Some of the equipment that's used is passed from one team to the other, so we want to make sure that things are up and working and everybody has a fair shake. Getting their volume set the way that they want. It's pretty cool. The Florida RIT Operations Group has a radio guy. They've got, well, apparently me as a social media guy. They've got, their command staff.
Ready to go?
Yeah, it is. It's a cool operation to see. So this is the course that they're going to be coming out on today, based on that, like I said, green sheet, that line of duty death in 2018, Worcester, Massachusetts. They'll have to locate the victim and get them out, and there is still a decent amount of grading that's going to happen from all of these raiders. We're still trying to make sure that we hit our benchmarks, but overall, pretty much the same rules as yesterday. It's speed. So we'll tune in here to the radio.
Ladder 4, ladder 1, rescue 1, car 4, car 400, residential fire at box 549. Occupant safety alarm is sounding. Fire is in the basement. 234. Answer 5 route. Engine 4 now. Ladder 4 route. Ladder 1's route. Car 4 route. Car 400 in route.
So as we go throughout this evolution, you're going to see these teams, like I said, this is their situational awareness. So you'll see the teams kind of acknowledge, or they'll repeat information they think is critical. Make sure everybody's on the same page.
Smoke shown. We'll investigate. Car 4 on scene. I'll have command. Answer 5. That's the third due. Find the cellar door and fourth entry. Ladder 4, command. We've gained access to the basement. Engine 5, engine 4, and ladder 4 are on site Charlie. Engine 5 command. We need to extend the line. We can't reach the basement. Command to ladder 4. Ladder 4, conduct primary search on the structure. Engine 5 command, we believe we have a knock on the fire. Command, car 400. All units, fire appears to be taking over the first floor. Ladder 4, you have fire below you. Ladder 4 command, our exit's cut off. We need a hose line to the stairs. Ladder 4 command, mayday, mayday, mayday. Ladder 403 is trapped at the window. We can't get him out. Command, car 400. Command, we have firefighters hanging from the windows. We need a ladder to that location. Ladder 4, Brit, command. Ladder 403 is pinned and we can't get him out of the window. Command copies the mayday. Command to Red Ops. Red Ops, go ahead, command. Do you copy the mayday? Fireman from ladder 4. Fireman from ladder 4. No resources. Command to Red Ops. It's going to be ladder 4. Ladder 4 firefighter. Red Ops, acknowledge. Can we confirm there's one single mayday at this time? At this time. Red Ops, acknowledge. Red Ops, RIT 1 and RIT 2. We have a mayday on the fire ground. Emergency traffic on the fire ground. Red Ops, RIT 1 and RIT 2. Need you to make entry, locate the firefighter from ladder 4, extract him from the structure, advise PAR when making entry.
All right. So they got their approval to make entry into the building. You'll see them enter now. Their time is going to start once they breach that threshold. And here we go. Third team, St. Johns County Fire Rescue. Looks like they're sending a team. The third team to figure out that there is two ways and split up both RIT groups so you can tell the level of experience on all three teams that have hit the course today is pretty high. So they have, again, never seen this course before. It's laid out pretty big. Go check in with our other crew over here. And essentially, like we talked about, this is a firemanship conference or competition just as much as anything else. Right now, crews working on their skill of wide area search. Every team showing their comfortability in zero visibility environments, which is great to see. No viz, no problem is one of our mottos, and these crews are definitely adopting it. So they seem very comfortable working without eyesight.
Hey, stay there, stay there. I got pass.
So pass device now active. So they aren't allowed to jump over the walls. So this team is going to have to find their way over to where the victim is. Taking a second to deliberate what they're actually finding. So the team on this side is the team with the bag, the rope. So they are going to need to make contact. So for this team, the objective is get there as fast as possible. But at some point, this team is going to be, they're packaging right now, but at some point, they're still going to have to make that contact. So we're looking at what can occasionally be a problem with the RIT rope as a whole. So bringing the rope in to be able to find yourself is great, but there's definitely a delay as this firefighter tries to manage the amount of rope that is paid out and make their way back. And like I said, if he's the one with the bag, that bag is required to hit some of those points, like transfilling. The judges, no doubtedly looking at the fact that now their crew is separated. We can see it from here, but a problem that they're going to have to walk through is the firefighter with the RIT bag and RIT rope is stranded and separated, as the other member of the team made a pretty aggressive peel once that pass alarm started going off. So it's like St. Johns County running into a little bit of confusion. Both teams now stuck in the inner rooms.
Coming.
Calling in air checks. So this is we're moving our way back around again, the same way that he just collected his rope. So finding said rope and then making his way back out to the exit, because that's the idea behind the RIT rope, right, is having a line that you can make your way back to your entrance, wherever that is. but it looks like our other RIT team seems to be stuck on that inside room. Proving just how easy it is to get disoriented. Good job using noise. Noise is definitely, when you can't see, hearing sometimes becomes our only way to communicate or to navigate. So a little yelling from the peanut gallery, trying to give tips and tricks. Shut down immediately by the judges. So again, it's a competition. If we could tell them where to go, that eliminates the purpose for sure. As frustrating as that is. And again, unlike yesterday, I said it before, these teams need to make it out, and RIT Ops is going to have to terminate the RIT operation for the time to stop. All right, and there's RIT Ops terminated. That is time for St. Johns County Fire. I'll give them a round of applause here. The judges are going to have a discussion. Like we kind of said, we saw some unfortunately interesting things. But again, it just proves how easy it is to get disoriented in a course like this, specifically when we're using a RIT rope to navigate. At one point, the firefighter collected the rope back to be able to push forward into a different part of the course, but then ended up joining in a circle. And that's the confusion, right, of being in the fire or being in a room you don't know and having zero visibility. Is these two rooms you could communicate through, like in some form or fashion, but then that kind of led almost like a false flag, like, hey, I know my guys are right over here, there's got to be a way to get to them, when in reality getting out and over to your crew isn't quite as simple. So the RIT rope is an awesome tool. I think when crews are solely reliant on it, it can potentially lead to problems. It has its place, it has its options, it has its objectives, but when it came to like what you guys just saw, unfortunately for the St. Johns County team, that reliance on the RIT rope led to separation of a crew and a little bit of confusion, I think, on where the crew actually was going. So we'll see what the judges end up saying. Likely there will be a time penalty assessed for the fact that they did split their crew, and then there may be some style points there for using the RIT rope, but like having it stretched out but not actually using it for its intended purpose, as that firefighter was trying to do. Again, not to point blame or anything, this is all learning experience. I think anybody who's watching needs to take something like that back to their department and say, hey, look, if we would do the same thing in a situation like that, then maybe something that we need to do is practice a little bit more on that. And the RIT rope is commonly taken for granted. We think of it as a rope, right? It's a very basic tool. It's very simple. It's, whatever it is that you think or whatever your opinions are about a RIT rope. But unless you use it in practice and you get it snagged on furniture and you get it snagged around walls and you get it stuck in doorways, it is really difficult to actually say that you're proficient in using a rope, which is a weird thing to say, right? As firefighters, we should be pretty good at ropes. So, but yeah, we'll check back in as we continue on throughout the day. That was team number 3 that hit the course. We have 2 more teams left today before we wrap it up with the decision and a winner. So we will catch you guys in a minute. if I can turn this on.